that if they want to apply this Marjorie Taylor Greene standard and remove people from committee positions because of things that they said, or tweeted or retweeted, let's play that game. I've told you about the hideous things Maxine Waters has said and done. Writing a letter to Fidel Castro urging him not to send back to America a woman who murdered a New Jersey state trooper and broke out of prison and fled to Cuba. When Congress passed a resolution demanding that Castro send her back to the States, Maxine Waters writes Fidel Castro a letter, I'm not making this up, compared her to a freedom fighter because, after all, she was a former Black Panther, and accused her of being persecuted and asked Castro to keep her. Castro is dead, but this woman is still alive and is still in Cuba. And if anybody has ever asked Maxine Waters about the letter that she wrote to him, I've never heard it. Same woman who has the chutzpah to talk about how close Trump is to the communist leader, Putin. I guess Russia's no longer communist, is it? Like Russia, what they call it now. This is a woman who got a meeting with the then Secretary of Treasury, Hank Paulson, during the financial crisis. And the meeting was to get money to bail out minority-owned banks. And one bank got $12 million, a bank that she and her husband had a financial interest in, an interest that she did not disclose to Paulson when he granted the money. That triggered a House inquiry commission based on ethics violation. It was a long, involved hearing. Among other things, she whipped out the race card, as Maxine Waters always does, and the investigation went supernova. Ilhan Omar. Jews have hypnotized the world. Are you kidding me? Jewish lawmakers have dual loyalties, supporting the BSD movement. That even Chuck Schumer called anti-Semitic. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, has she been stripped of her committee positions? She said that Republican lawmakers were giving people suspicious tours, end of quote, at the Capitol. Lawmakers that I've heard had relatives and friends. And here she is accusing them of basically casing the place so that rioters could come there and trash it. Last year, she said the Republican Party's goal was to, quote, dismantle our democracy, close quote. Is that some sort of incitement? Nancy Pelosi accused Trump of trying to sabotage the election. She said this, quote, President Trump is openly working to destroy the post office and sabotage its ability to deliver absentee ballots in time to be counted, end of quote. A lot of other Democrats, including Biden, said this. The article about this in PJ Media. It turned out the boxes were not voter suppression. Even the left-wing website had to admit that this was a lesson in misinformation. The boxes removed were part of a long-standing effort to cut costs for the Postal Service. Yet Nancy Pelosi pushed this lie that these boxes were being removed by Donald Trump in order to engage in voter suppression. Nancy Pelosi, has she been removed of any of her committee assignments? And don't get me started on Evan Schiff, who said there was tons of evidence, he'd personally seen it, of Trump-Russia collusion. Still has his committee assignments. Now, as I was saying a moment ago, Google Al Sharpton and Kingmaker, Democratic Kingmaker, and you'll find that all of the major Democratic candidates went to New York, kissed Al Sharpton's ring in order to get his endorsement. A man who became famous by falsely accusing a white assistant DA, Dutchess County in New York, of raping Tawana Brawley. An allegation that Sharpton knew was untrue, said it anyway. One of his cohorts, who later broke with him, said that Al knew it wasn't true, and Al said, quote, once this thing goes down, we'll be the baddest N-words in America, end of quote. Mission accomplished. Al Sharpton, in the thick of the 1991 Crown Heights riots, where he first denied saying anything incendiary, oops, tape surfaced with Al Sharpton saying, if the Jews want to get it on, tell them to pin their yarmulkes on their hats and come over to my house. Democratic kingmaker. The man is on tape, 1985 FBI tape, talking to an undercover FBI agent about doing a cocaine deal. And Sharpton says, yeah, we can do that. We can move that. We can move more. What kingmaker is on a tape talking to an undercover agent about doing a cocaine deal? That's why Sharpton became a snitch for the FBI, because they had him by one of my British friends calls the short and curlies. This man is a kingmaker. This man was in the streets of Ferguson yelling no justice, no peace before one moment of testimony had been taken. Kingmaker.
Because I wasn't with the rats. I'm a cat. I chase rats.
Speaking of belief in conspiracy theories, at the Million Man March, Al Sharpton said, OJ is home, but Mumi Abu Jamal ain't home. Do you know who Mumi Abu Jamal is? He is a man who murdered, execution style, a police officer in Philadelphia, Officer Daniel Faulkner. Michael Schmerkanis, the left-wing host on CNN, even wrote a book about it called, a little booklet about it called Cop Killer. Was convicted, is playing the race card, claims he was framed, yada blah, etc. Even the Black Patrolmen's Association confirmed his guilt. And Al Sharpton at the Million Man March said he ain't home, implying he's innocent. Now, Marjorie Taylor Greene believes in conspiracy theories. What does this kingmaker believe in about this cop killer? I could go on and on and on. Complete pass. Schumer's racist scheme, not a problem. Maxine Waters, letter to Castro, not a problem. Ilhan Omar, Jews have dual loyalties, not a problem. Jews have hypnotized the world, not a problem. Maxine Waters accuses the CIA of starting the drug trade in the inner city, not a problem. But Marjorie Taylor Greene, gotta go. I'm Larry Elder.